Begin the asana practice in a seat. And the idea today is to find balance in the body and then see what effects come into your mind afterwards. Let's go to the non-dominant cross. Squeeze your outer hips together, maybe even lift the sitting bones. Let your knees relax. Walk up the curves of your spine, maybe grow a little taller through the crown of the head. Shoulders relaxing down. Notice the front ribs. Don't let them puff out. Sometimes even bringing your hand to the lower ribs. As you find Ujjayi Pranayama. Back of the neck is long. Relaxing the chin toward the throat. Roll out the neck. Side to side, keeping your elbows heavy, a little weight in your hands. Slight firmness through the abdominals. All the way we can check in with this midsection of the body. And note sometimes when we check in sections of the body, do we lose the flow, the smoothness of the breath? Yoga is kind of multitasking in the harmony. Bring the head to neutral. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Interlace your hands above you. Squeeze into the webbing of the fingers and then flip the palms up. And feel what you can in the inside, outside of the arms, holding arms above the head here. Noticing the shoulders on the back body, keeping the front ribs squeezing in and down. Few breaths here, straight up as you can. And then hands forward as you pull the tailbone in, chin in, navel to spine. Inhale to lift up. Allow the belly to lift a little and maybe feel a stretch through that front skin, front body. And exhale as you pull it all in, around the back. One more like this. And then release your arms. Bringing the hands back down to the knees. Circle a little, well, I'm going anti-clockwise to begin with. See what feels more natural to you. Allow these circles to sort of move into crevices of the body that come more into your attention as you just circle around the base. And maybe we notice the tension, the stuckness, what we've been doing for the weekend or not doing. And you can take a few circles the other way. Sometimes these feel like they want to be big, and sometimes they just feel like you want to stay right in the center. Great. Pause. And let's take the left leg and circle the hip around, warming it up, and choose where it feels good to hold the leg. Maybe even lean into your right hip slightly as you sort of feel that insertion of your left femur bone. And these circles, you might even decide to hold the back of the thigh and bend and straighten the leg slightly. Sense of what happens through the legs, either a flex foot or pointing through the toes, Both actions viable and necessary. And swapping out your legs. First, we can hold the lower right leg. Really lean into your left sitting bone, the left lower leg. Kind of like a mini pigeon there on your left side. And guide the femur bone around the hip socket. Breathe all the way up Sushumna Nadi. Mouth soft, shoulders relaxed. Let's hold the back of the thigh. A few straightening bends there. And it's always whole body. Base of the back of the ribs. Okay, and we'll come to all fours. Full handprints. So you want to feel a nice smooth ridge in the wrists, right? Really spread across the base of the wrist. Squeeze out through the hands. Whether you want to do some forwards and back, shifting circles, finding more and more is to really get the knees under the hips first, feeling inside, outside of the pelvis. And then slowly going into roll the spine. Even in your cat, when you dip the belly, trying to feel the skin on the front of the chest open up slowly, slowly, slowly. Sides of the neck. Really using your upper arms, squeezing them into center. And never be shy to reestablish the hands or the knees. Use the fascia of your feet, the legs, wrapping around the bones. Open the knees out wide and squeeze the skin on your inner knees. Start to work into your adductor muscles as the big toes work toward each other at the back. Use that adductor stretch as you kind of press, squeeze your knees down. Also good knee massage. And work your hips, pelvis slowly back, spreading the sit bones, stretching across the glutes. Active child's pose. Keep the reach going. Side body long. You can relax the forehead or roll the head. You feel that hammocking of your pelvis back in space. Stay connected to your breath. Balance it out slow, slow, slow with the exhale. And then curl up, tailbone in, chin in, knees back underneath your hands. And then we'll sit back onto the heels, stacking shoulders over the hips. And then you come up onto your knees and start to pad one knee and then the other. Hands can sometimes help to slide the quads up, outer hips up, and activate those glute medius. And let the tailbone, sit bones get really heavy. And just feel your bones stacking here, as if we're in Tadasana on the knees. And then hands can come to the pelvis. You start to press your hips forward. We want to open this front channel, going slowly. We'll come in sort of just back from that center point to slightly forward a few times. Feel your arms and the sides of your neck. Maybe even just let your arms relax. Sometimes even putting the hands on the hips can shorten the neck. Opening the front body. And then you might tuck your toes. And just lean back. Hands can go on the hips, using your quad strength, knee strength, inner thighs. Little lean here, hips pressing forward. And then see if you want to take the hands to the heels, an early camel. If not, keep your hands on your hips, hands reaching back one by one. Squeezing knees, toes. Camel's one of those back bends you really can't cheat on. And if it feels like you want to open your throat, start to relax the head back. And you come up, squeezing along the spine. Slowly, hands down, tuck toes, lift your hips, down dog. And then allowing your head to slowly relax to the ground. You might blow the breath out through the lips to massage the lips, calming, soothing your nervous system. A lovely stretch of skin as you squeeze the bones of your hands down. Maybe pedaling one foot and the other. Maybe sending the other heel down into the ground. Lifting right up at the hip crease. And roll it out to plank. Lift the heels. Squeeze in everything through center. And sustain plank. Squeeze your upper arm bones in. You have to shift the legs, shift them, but shift your weight a little forwards and back, or even side to side with your hips. Straighten the arms as much as possible. And then with control, guide the knees. Bend your elbows. Slow, lower to the knee. Arms extend back behind, a little Shalabhasana in variations. And first, only the legs. Lift the toes, feet. And keep the pubic bone rooting down. And if you feel your head, chest lift a little. Just the legs. Maybe a little higher. A little higher. A little higher, really work those inner thighs, hamstrings, and relax the legs. And now just your arms, pressing into the toes, lifting your kneecaps, tailbone back, and your arms lift, but you're squeezing into the center of the body, using the abdominals. Back muscles working, you lift a little higher, a little higher. One last lift. Ooh. And you lower. Breath deepening. And then last one, arms and legs together. So zip everything in. Feel the spine working, tailbone to the heels, and you fly. Arms and legs. Scapula moving down the back. Long in the back of the neck. Looking up with the eyes into the top of the head. Oh, and lower down. Hands frame your shoulders, elbows in. Press down into the hands so you lift up. Back to down dog. Just play with the new length you're finding through the spine. As we challenge the strength, the length, the integration, what you feel in the feet, spreading your toes. And then walk forward, the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. You can stay in the fold, or you might like to ripple up and down a few times into this Ardha Uttanasana, working the legs, lifting the spine off the hips, and then relaxing completely over your legs. And you feel into where you can, really lifting that lower belly off the hip creases. Noticing if you're just using the weight in one portion of the legs or the feet, try to balance it out, lift the sit bones a little higher. Last one. And then come up to stand, bend the knees, curl in. And you stack shoulders over your wrists or over the hips. Take a moment to arrive in Tadasana. And finding the pose. It's always so nice to find the posture. I always want to play homage to every pose as much as we can. I'm going to shift the weight into the left leg. You can start to pick up the right knee, arms out wide. So we're already going into a balance here. And if you can, slow. If you always need to come in and re-enter, that's no problem. Crossing your right thigh over the left knee, you might go for the double bind. Bend the hips back and left arm over right leg. Your eagle pose. You just feel the drag of skin in the arms. Your balance, your hands. And sending the hips back, nice firm roots through the left leg. And if you can, unravel your right leg and send it, start to send it back, a warrior three variation with your eagle arms. Feel everything coming to center, point back through the right toes, nice strong left leg. Moving buoyant in your left leg. And if you bend and straightens, and then you will light your right toes into the back line. Lift the arms up and overhead. You're in this long lunge. And you've got softness here in the back knee. You can bend and straighten your back knee. Eventually lowering it down, hands to your heart. Release the back toes. And feel your hips. Relaxing through the left hip, spreading through the left foot. And then start to shift forward with your heart and bring your right elbow outside left thigh. And you work the little twist here. Feeling the squeezing of your ribs, as if you wanted to lift your liver up and around. Eventually framing the foot, hands to the mat. Plank pose as you step it back. Heels are moving back. Firming it up, you can always shift your body weight forwards and back as you find your alignment. And then guide your knees. Roll over the elbows. Lengthen the legs, and when you're ready, cobra. It can be big, it can be mini. But always emphasis on the spine. Chest open. Shoulders moving away, down the back. And lower it down. Child's pose or down dog. Slow the breath, balance it out. Look to the hands. You can walk, step, float your feet forwards to meet your hands. Inhale your halfway lift. Exhale as you fold. And then come up to stand. You can always reach arms up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. Samastitihi, hands to your heart. Take a moment to relax the heart. Maybe setting an intention for your day. Connecting to your heart. Be kinder to your mind. Don't let your mind have its way with you when it's telling you things that are not true. Release the arms and then weight into the right foot. You can always use hands to the hips here to really get a sense of your leg. Even the sit bone relaxing, the glute reaching down. Active in your left toes, arms out. As your left leg crosses over, right hand crosses left. You find your eagle stance with the bind. And then it's all about leveling your shoulders, leveling your hips. You find that hinge sending both hips back in space. So you lift up slightly, you're lifting the left leg. And then with as much poise, grace, sending your left foot back in space, pointing through the toes. Feeling that nice weight into your right leg. Be soft in the knee. And eventually stepping down the mat. You release the arms up and overhead. You feel that power up from your hips, power of the legs. You can bend and straighten the back knee slightly. So we don't lock out in the shoulders. You feel that force, integration in the lower body. Back knee lowers, hands to your heart. You can release the back toes. And just note here how the feet, knees, everything supports you. Shift us slightly forward with your chest, spine is long, and then turning the elbow toward the thigh. Find that squeeze from left to right, both sides of your side body. Head, jaw, relaxed. And eventually framing the foot. Plank pose as you step it back. Really scoop your upper arm bones in. Knees down, lie down. Over. And as you ripple up, tailbone back. And lower it down. Downward facing dog or child's pose, if you choose. Next time we'll walk the hands back to the feet. Slide your hands under your feet. Hatha Hastasana. Give the wrists a little bit of squeezing, tension. And always relax the shoulders, the head. Melt your weight over the feet, the hands. Feel into where you can feel in the legs as you lift your sit bones a little bit higher. As we release our hands out, we toe heel the feet out to the side, slowly making our way into the squat. Squeezing the feet down. If your heels need to lift them. You can roll out the wrists. Always welcome to move a little. But sometimes we just want to be still in the squat. It's always the adventure of your spine, of course. So feeling that settling down in of your ribs still. Hands to the inner thighs. And take a moment here as we come toward the end of the practice. Meditating in our squat, feeling the knees, the ankles. Feel all the prana lines, all the subtle sensations in your body. Honor the life force. Always accessing gratitude. Ooh, we'll make our way onto the back. So I'm just scooping my hips underneath, lowering down. And depending on the energy or your needs of the day, of the moment, sometimes it's just more integration, more awareness into your spine. Bridge, happy baby. Sometimes people just love that shoulder stem plow kind of variation. Sometimes it's the head, small rolls the head, or little exercises with your eyes, circling the eyes around. Oh, heavy yawns or sighs out through the mouth. Spreads of the toes. And then do settle into a place of quiet stillness. Full of quotes here from a wonderful new book I've started to read called There Is a Light That Shines by Rory B. McKay. The moon in the water, broken and broken again. Still it is there. Life is too short to be little. the opening quotes he quotes by a woman called Ellen Bass. Everyone has the right to tell the truth about his or her own life. Mind your wise, precious, oh so dear and intelligent hearts. Investigate yourself with that discrimination, dispassion, a fine touch of humor. And I leave you here into your day, dearest friends. Anna, Indra, Dawn, Gabby, whoever might be watching this recording, dear Gemma. All the love to you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.